As we get into our 14th session, let's push on to the third proposed reason that we are losing trust in science and scientists, with more and more of us seeing science and scientists as oppressive. As you recall, my first proposed reason was that life is nonlinear, and the second was that we conflate science with engineering and mathematics, specifically statistics. I have proposed that a third reason is that much of science is being managed by people with profit motives. Now, I think this topic has to be discussed as a triple threat problem. First, we know that private companies that report to shareholders and have direct financial motives are doing a lot of their own scientific research. Second, we know that more and more universities and other academic institutions that do scientific research are more and more managed like a business, including reporting to boards that expect financial gains. Third, kind of the trifecta from a perception viewpoint, we tend to get the impression from a vast number of sources that government labs and agencies that do scientific research have what appears to be close relationships with big businesses that may include almost a revolving door of people in and out of these possible incestuous organizations. For me, the cautionary tale of tobacco research in the 20th century is a poster child example of the impact of problems like the first of these, private companies doing their own research. In a nutshell, throughout the last half of the 20th century, tobacco companies did almost everything they could to keep people from knowing how deadly smoking really was. They funded biased research, junk science, to call into doubt the links that had been established between smoking and lung cancer and heart disease. They promoted selective data reporting in a way to ensure that uncertainty served their purposes, hiding the actual risks. And tobacco companies stifled their own internal communications in a calculated way to suppress and distort their own science. The deliberate manipulation of science and scientists delayed regulation and ultimately harmed more people. Tobacco is not the only example. The sugar and oil industry's manipulation of research are likewise legendary in a very bad way. My opinion is that our experience with tobacco, sugar, oil, and others sets the stage for our doubts about food safety and climate change and vaccinations. The list goes on. I will leave it to you to consider the impacts of the second and third factors. Google them. The impacts are potentially severe. Based on what we saw with tobacco and sugar and others, both people with good intentions and fearmongers cast doubts on science and scientists for one, two, or all three of the triple threat problems described earlier. That may delay important research and important regulation. In our next session, we will wrap up our discussion of the potential causes that we see science and scientists as oppressive, with a discussion of scientists as policymakers. Aloha.